If you can't kill a boss, no reason why you can't look like one. Moogle putting the wow in transmogs. Starting off with the shoulders from Blackrock Foundry, Operator Thogar is going to drop the Soul Priest shoulder guards. Don't worry, mages can wear it. 13% on the drop rate for those shoulders from Warlords of Draenor, all the fun. Now we're moving on to Siege of Orgrimmar, which of course is Mop. Thok the Bloodthirsty will drop something I'm not even going to try to pronounce. 24% on the drop rate. Now this doesn't look half bad on a working hard xmog. Antiquated Highborn Cinch, the Nighthold, Scorpiron. I'm sure someone will correct me on that. That's a decent drop rate. The back Parrot Feather Cloak, Freehold, Sky Captain Crag, 11% on the drop rate for the back. Moving on, and we have a Nightborn Lady showing the feet, Laughing Skull Boots. You could farm these out of Tarokar Forest, which of course is BC, various mobs, or just step up, buy it on the auction house. Any kind of light brown boots will work. The hands are out of Uldir Mythic. Vectus is the boss, got about a 5% drop rate on those. You could even go with the wrists if you don't have the hands. Hands or the wrist will work pretty well with this. Hexweave Cow, Wad Level Tailoring. Check your local tailor, check your local auction house for that. Moving on, we are going to show you the last piece, the weapon. Infernal Flame Staff, Blackrock Foundry, Heroic. Gruul is the boss, and about a 20% drop rate. Not bad. The shoulders you can pick out of a very simple place. Throne of Thunder, LFR version. Iron Quan drops the Mantle of the Chromatic Hydra. 5% on the drop rate for those shoulders. The chest, Merciless Gladiator Silk Raiment. Head over to Netherstorm, of course, the BC PvP vendor. That's the building with the 2 ogres in front. 3 marks of honor to pick that up. Moving on to the belt, Abandoned Zandalari Fire Cord. Throne of Thunder, LFR. Various mobs, or you could just step up, buy it on the auction house. I think, I'm not really sure. Might be a different version that drops from the auction house, but you could always check. Dread Gladiator's Cape, which makes this alliance only, but you could just substitute a different blue cape if you want, if you hoard. Kind of a fair drop rate. At this point, you either have it or you don't. Eventually, I believe, Marks of Honor, you could buy the BFA PvP stuff. Sandals of Rustling Rage, Tierguard Sound, that is, of course, I believe, a rare or that you could farm. The hands, Lightning Weaver Gauntlets, Throne of Thunder LFR, Jinrock the Breaker drops it at a fair rate. Moving on, speaking of Jinrock the Breaker and trolls, we have a Troll Lady, Flame Caster's Burning Crown, Throne of Thunder LFR, Hard On is the boss, kind of a fair drop rate. And the last piece, of course, is the weapon. Here's the staff, Dying Light, Ice Crown Citadel, normal 25-man, Blood Queen, Lanathel. Mixing a few PvP tiers in this set. We're going to start off with the Ruthless Gladiator Silk Amos. Cata PvP vendor, 3 marks of honor to pick up. The shoulders, of course, depending on your faction, Stormwind Orgrimmar, that's where you find a Cata PvP vendor. The chest, Dreadful Gladiator Silk Robe, Mop PvP vendor, 3 marks of honor. Or you could always find the crafted version on the auction house, so the choice is yours. Moving on, we have a Lady Draenei showing the Miasmic Skull Belt. Siege of Orgrimmar, LFR, Malkorok is the boss. 14% on the drop rate for the belt with the kind of pinkish purple jewel in the middle. Fetid Horrors, Tangle Cloak, Uldir, Fetid Devourer drops the cloak here at about a 10% drop rate, so that's pretty fair. Moving on, we have an Undead Mage showing the Light Feather Foot Pads, Battle Dazaralahar. Someone help me pronunciate that. I got busted on because I pronounced the non-word wrong. Anyway, Grips of Cauterization, Blackrock Foundry, Operator Thogar is boss, kind of fair drop rate. Next up, we have a Lady Blood Elf showing the headpiece, which is Ruthless Gladiator Silk Cowl. Same bat channel, same bat place as the shoulders, so that's an easy pickup. And the last piece is at a Tanan Jungle. It's one of those baleful armaments that you could create, and bingo, you get the staff. That's how it works. Baleful Spire. Here's a set with Frost or Arcane in mind, Mantle of the Arcane Tempest. Tomb of Sargeras Heroic Fallen Avatar drops it at about a 5% drop rate. Tomb of Sargeras, of course, Heroic version from Legion. And the chess piece, Ancient Gore-Stained Wrap, Hellfire Citadel, Kilrog Deadeye is the boss. 12% drop rate for the chess piece. Moving on, we have a Worgen. Boy, look at that headpiece. It's almost touching the clouds. Dreadful Gladiator's Court of Meditation. You can pick this up, is that right? Yeah, Meditation. My PvP vendor, 1 Mark of Honor, or you can buy it on the auction house, get the crafted version there. Cape of Valajar, Courage, of course. Trial of Valor, Heroic Odin is the boss. Got a Lady Draenei showing the feet, sort of. Netherweave boots, BC level tailoring. Check your local tailor. Check your local auction house to get those boots. They're gray, by the way. There's the cloak, which we'll get to. But first, the hands, Gloves of the Arcane Tempest, part of the same tier set, I believe, as the shoulders and the headpiece. Tomb of Sargeras Heroic card, Jaden is the boss. Kind of a fair drop right there. Looking pretty cool on a Blood Elf, I think. Blood Elf dude with the Crown of Arcane Tempest. Tomb of Sargeras Heroic Archagon is the boss. Kind of a fair drop rate to pick up that headpiece that almost touches the clouds. The weapon, of course, Junkyard Motivator Mechagon. Old Big Tusk drops it at about an 8% drop rate. This one's done with fire in mind, so to light a match, let's go. Primal Gladiator's Mantle of Cruelty, WoD PvP vendor, 3 Marks of Honor to pick up those shoulders, which are actually priest tier shoulders in PvP, but that's the piece that mages and warlocks can pick up. That's alliance only, by the way. Sanctified Blood Mage Robe, Ice Crown Citadel Heroic 25-man Syndragosa has a 35% shot to drop those. The belt, Vita Binder Wrap, Throne of Thunder Heroic, Cache of Storms, 14% on the drop rate. So far, 3 for 3 with some pretty easy pieces to pick up. Next up, the back, Parrot Feather Cloak, Freehold, Sky Captain Crag, 12% on the drop rate. You see, that's the dilemma that I often face. If it's easy to pick up, chances are it's not going to look so great in a MOG. If it's difficult to pick up, chances are it's going to look really good in a MOG. So it's kind of hard to mix and match. Sometimes you get something that's just very easy to pick up across the board and you luck out. Sometimes you get all things across the board, difficult to pick up, but it looks great. So it's kind of a no-win scenario for me when it comes to that. So far, the hands and the shoulders are PvP tier stuff, and the rest is kind of mixed and matched all over the place. Dark Conjurer's Collar, it's going to send it to Sunwell. The weapon, Infernal Flame Staff, Blackrock Foundry Mythic. Gruul is the boss, and we've got about a 22% drop rate. Here's another piece with Arcane and Frost in mind. The shoulders, Arcano Shatter Mantle. Blackrock Foundry, Operator Thogar, 14% on the drop rate for the shoulders with the blue jewel and the gray look and the gold. It really works well with this set. Robes of the Moon Lotus, Throne of Thunder Heroic, Swen is the boss, and we got about an 11% drop rate to pick that up. Moving on, we have a Lady Human showing Deckhands, Rope Belt, Blackrock Foundry, Admiral Garen is the boss, kind of about a 12% drop rate on the belt. Moving on to the feet, which are Vindicator's Soft Soul Slippers. Blood Missile, it's a quest reward. I shoot magic into darkness. So that's alliance only, but you'll probably find some dark gray boots that you could wear somewhere along the line also. Arcano Shatter Gloves, part of the same tier set as the shoulders. Admiral Garen, once again, makes an appearance, 14% on the drop rate. Moving on to the back, Gilded Thorian Cloak, Karazhan BC version, Terrestriang, that's the Chinese version of Terrestrian Ilhoof, 17% for the drop rate. Now we have a Zandalari Lady Troll, 100 Fathom Veil. This, of course, is the Priest tier headpiece from Legion, but this is the piece that mages and warlocks can pick up. And the weapon is straight out of Dragon Soul LFR. Dropped from the Elementium Fragment. 48% drop rate for the staff. Once again, my name is Luxeley, and I'm going to leave you with a final thought like I always do. Whatever it is by you, whether it's morning, afternoon, or night like it is here, make your day epic.